Jared Polin, Fronos, Photo.com, here with a longtime acquaintance. Yes. Because when I was in 8th grade or 7th grade sitting next to him in reading class, he was busy. Reading class, Miss Schmuck. Schmalk, right?
Absolutely.
Schmalk.
I called Schmuck.
Yeah, he did. He was busy getting in trouble and slacking off while I was the little dorky kid just sitting there getting made fun of. Anyway, so Adam just picked up a Nikon D3100 and he's in emergency mode because he so happens to be photographing tonight. What are you photographing tonight?
I'm photographing a beautiful young model for a painting. I only photograph for reference so that I can paint from it when I cannot paint from life.
And what will your model be doing tonight?
It's more on the erotic end of the spectrum of subject matter.
Yeah, so I'm not allowed there to help with lighting, so that's why we have this call. So she's in a bathtub, I hear.
Yes.
Is there milk involved?
There is.
Is it whole milk?
It's actually powdered milk. It's a little trick to use. If you use powdered milk in a bathtub, you can still keep the water warm as opposed to pouring cold milk in a tub.
Sounds like you've done this before.
I have, I'll be honest. It's good for the skin, moisturizes as well, exfoliates, and it looks really cool.
It's full of protein.
Mm.
So, yeah, I got the text today when I was in New York that you needed some help with this, so I pointed you in the direction of the D3100 users guides that I put together. Did you watch them?
I watched them 2 times, and they were actually extremely helpful, and did a bunch of test shots that I did delete, but yeah, it was very, very helpful.
All right, all right, so what do you need to know? I mean, we're going to try to crash course you for shooting. We won't give her name tonight. In a bathtub, and I hear there's more coming after. There's more photos after of something else. But
this model is very unabashed, and she's allowing me to photograph whatever I want because I have an art show coming up that has to be all erotic paintings.
In the name of art, you can almost get anybody to do just about anything. Except,
you know what? People love me. People are supportive of me, and I am supportive of them.
Oh, I'll be right over. I'll get naked for you. How about that? I'll be like,
I would love to do that.
Hey, Adam.
We could do a beautiful painting of your fro.
I'll be like this.
Fro.
I'll be like the fro below.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that all natural too?
I almost answered that.
Anyhow, yeah, so I'm just looking for a few pointers because obviously I'm not going to learn the finer points of photography tonight, but good enough where I can have enough detail and get some nice depth in the shadows on her, and I can do processing in Lightroom and Photoshop afterwards.
All right, so first things first, you're going to be shooting raw. We know this.
Absolutely.
I will help you edit.
Okay.
One way or another. Those photos for you guys out there will not be seen on the website because, one, there's that client photographer thing. Basically, you don't want those pictures going out, so just be very respectful of your subjects if they allow you the opportunity to photograph them in certain situations that you know, you're respectful and you don't put those places where they can get out because that's just bad for one, and just it would be a DB move, right?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, all I have is my name and my reputation, and I'm not about to ruin it just to show a friend a new naked photo, you know?
Yeah, there's plenty of that on the internet.
You got it.
So Adam said basically no, he wants dimension. And as I mentioned to him earlier on the phone, that's why you're not going to use a flash shooting straight on. Flash straight on, there's 0 dimension. It makes everything flat. But right now he's not ready to shoot with an external flash off camera because he just doesn't have that equipment yet. So I said a hot light, you know? Get a hot light, put it right where you want it, angle it, just like drawing class. I'm sure you did this when you were painting in school.
That's all I ever do. Yeah, with the I have a nice spotlight in a clip-on, and I can move it wherever I like, and I set it up just like I would paint from life or draw from life. But I just don't know how that translates when you're photographing.
Yeah, right. Well, the light's going to translate the same as if you were as you see it. But then it's the now we have to figure out how you're going to get your settings right to compensate for how the sensor sees the light opposed to how your eye sees the light, because your eye is going to pick it up different. Your eye is going to see better in low light than what the camera is going to see. So now, are you going to be on a tripod? Or are you going to not be on a tripod? Because I personally, when I'm shooting models, I am not on a tripod.
I do not think I'll be using a tripod tonight, just because I'm going to have to move around.
You're going to have to move around. Now, you have an 18 to 55 lens. You're limited in the f-stop, how much light you can actually let in. You're going to be able to pump up your ISO. You understand film speed, ISO. The faster it goes, the higher shutter speed you can get. Because what you're going to want to make sure is that your shutter speed, rule of thumb here for everybody out there, which I say before, you don't want your shutter speed slower than your focal length. What that means is if you're at 55 millimeters, you don't want your shutter speed to go below, say, a 60th of a second, because that's the closest shutter speed to that. You've got 1/50th of a second, and then you've got 1/60th of a second. So if you see that your shutter speed is going to be at, your focal length's at 55, because you're zoomed in to get a nice tight shot.
Cropped shot.
What?
Cropped shot.
No cropping. We don't crop here. We call that composed, tightly composed. Yes, we don't crop. I do not crop. Yeah. So if you see that your shutter speed says like 30th of a second,
okay,
or a 10th of a second, if you were to take a picture, you'd hear it be really slow. Get out your camera. Put it in M.
Whoop, I gotta grab the battery real quick.
You grab it. I'll keep talking.
Okay.
Oh yeah, look at that guy walk away. Damn. Anyway, so what I'm gonna have him do is actually play with the camera right here to hear this, because I can hear a shutter speed and be pretty close to telling you what the actual shutter speed is. I forgot to turn off my video on this, so I hope it's still recording onto the computer.
Okay, camera is ready.
All right, go to manual.
It is on and on manual.
All right,
okay.
Turn the shutter speed down by using the back dial.
That's right.
Yeah. Get it down
How
to a
far down?
1/10, so a 10th of a second.
Okay, got it.
Now take a picture of the wall. Take your lens cap off if it's on.
I took it off.
All right. Look through the camera though. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Rule number 1: before you even take a picture, how are you holding the camera? Hold it up so I can see you. All right. All right. There you go. Like, yeah. Hold that thing. Feel that underneath the lens. Yeah, it's just because you're going to rotate with your thumb. It makes it much easier. So, yeah, and it bounces. Remember this. Lock the arms in. Tripod. And we're talking about your 2 legs. Yeah. All right, take a picture. Did you hear how slow that was?
Yes, I did.
Speed it up to 1/60th of a second. Take a picture. Quicker, right?
Much quicker.
So you know that if you're hearing that and it sounds too slow, that means that you could get some handshake in there.
Right.
So you do not want to hold it when you're shooting at 18. You could shoot at, say, 1/16th of a second, because the wider you shoot, the more light. It's drawing light from a larger area, right? So think of this. This is wide. You're drawing light all the way from this whole area, like 160 degrees. As you zoom in, your light gathering narrows, right? Because you're not gathering light from this light in the back and the window here. It's just it's smaller areas. So that's why your shutter speeds sometimes have to be faster, because there's not as much light. Sorry, they have to be slower because there's not as much light. All right, I know this is a lot, and
no. I'm soaking it in.
This is why I'm writing a book that's going to be videos that you can sit and watch over and over again for like 4 hours. But that's beside the point. So. How dark is the bathroom?
At nighttime, which it will be, it's pretty dark. I mean, it'll be pitch black.
Ugh.
Well, not well. There is one.
But how much light? How much light? What kind of bulb do you have in the other camera?
It's a 45-watt spotlight that's frosted. So imagine a closet light, like the old little hanging one. So it's pretty low light. But like I said, I tried on the. I have higher wattage bulbs if necessary.
All right, so let's change it up.
Sure.
If you find that because your shutter speed's going to be thrown way off, it's going to be thrown way off from one bright light in an area. I mean, I would love to be there, not for the fact that you have a naked model, but for the fact to help you figure out the actual lighting, because I need to see it to get it. But you have, you know, you could do spot metering in your camera, which is a whole nother animal of how you meter the light, so you're going to get a reading. But you're going to be in manual. I'm just going to say be in manual, take a picture, look at it, then figure out what you need to do. This is what I say. You know,
you got it.
In this day and age, you don't have to rely on the light meter as much as we used to, because I would have to guess and say, oh, I have to listen to the light meter because I don't get to see the picture after I take it, right?
Sure.
So in this case, your screens are pretty damn close. You're shooting RAW, and that means you have more leeway to bring it back. So what I'm going to want you to do in manual, you're going to start, you're going to put your ISO, excuse me, to say 1600.
Okay.
You probably don't want to go above 1600. It will probably let you do 3200, which will be grainy. But if it's a really bright light, you won't need as high as an ISO. But I'm just going to say, you know, start with 1600. Start with, I'm going to send you into aperture. Well, no, manual. Leave your aperture just at, what's it at now?
1/60th.
That's your shutter speed. The other number, the F number.
3.8.
Okay, so zoom the lens in. What happens to your F number?
You know what? My lens cap was on. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Go to 8. Start at 18. Don't tell me it's probably at 3.5, right?
Yep.
All right, now turn it. What's happening to your aperture?
It's increasing, and it got up to 5.6.
So 5.6 out at 55 millimeters. So what happens is you zoom in, because it's a variable aperture lens, is you're losing light. So as you lose light, what do you have to do to compensate to get more?
Open up the aperture.
Well, you can't open it up anymore, because at 55 it's only going to go to 5.6. So your other options in the exposure triangle, which there's a whole section on this in the book, is you have your ISO, you can do something to it, or you have your shutter speed. So with the shutter, what was that?
Can I take a guess?
Yeah, go ahead,
Professor. I think I would have to increase my ISO.
You would increase your ISO as one option, but like I said, I want you to stay at 1600, if not, you know. So the other option, to let more light in, what do you do with your shutter speed to let in more light?
Slow it down.
You slow it down, which means it's going to stay open longer, which means you could possibly have some handshake, which means that you may want to go and be on a tripod if it gets too slow. I don't know what kind of trouble you're going to run into, but I would say start at, say, 1600, leave it at a 60th of a second or 1/125th, and just see where it is. Take a picture, look at it, then decide what you need to do. It's either going to be too bright or too dark. Then it's just a matter of what do you do to compensate to get the right direction. So if it's too dark, you let more light in, you slow the shutter speed down. If it's too bright, you have to bump the shutter speed up higher because you're letting in too much light. Does this all make sense?
Yeah, it does, very much so. You know, I'm a classically trained painter and not a photographer, so...
What's your website?
Oh, it's scratchandpaint.com.
Scratchandpaint.com. Very nice. There's some very interesting paintings on there, including my all-time favorite. I love that painting. I won't even tell them what it is, but I love that one. Yeah, so I'm going to stop with that. You and I can probably continue on. I don't want to give away too much information. But yeah, that simple stuff, if you like this simple stuff and it made sense, just imagine when I'm doing this in front of, you know, on actual photo shoots that I have 2 videographers recording, doing audio, doing everything, and I'm just going to literally break down the basics of photography for you all in a beginner's guide that's going to kick some major ass. I mean, what I just told him right here is stuff that it's just, I try to break it down to as simple as possible. If you need to let more light in, what are the options, you know? And then it's just trial and error. You're going to sit there and you're going to go into the bathroom and you're going to photograph her, and what I just told you, if it's too dark, you got to do this. If it's too light, you got to do this. That's simple stuff. Just use the technology that you have. Look at the camera after you take a picture. It's that simple. I mean, you don't have to... The people that argue and say, oh, traditionalists don't look at the camera and they don't chimp, they don't use that. I'll say back in the day, people shot with Polaroids, right? They did Polaroid samples when they shot in the studio just to see what the light looked like before they took the pictures. We're doing the same thing here. You're testing it out. You're taking a Polaroid with your digital camera, and you're looking at it and going, okay, it's pretty damn close. And being that we shoot raw, I'm not saying that you have to get your exposures perfect every single time. I say I worry about getting the image first, more so than getting the exposure exactly perfect. But I will tell you that I get my exposures within a half a stop most of the time, if not a quarter of a stop, because I want to be you want to be close. You don't want to take it to the extreme. So that's me talking to you, and that's me talking to everybody out there, Adam.
Thank you so much for your help. You honestly, you're worth your weight in gold.
That's 157 pounds, man. 158. I can't short myself in pounds.
I'm at a healthy 210, my friend.
A healthy. You need to drop 20. Drop 20. Get in that workout regimen, man. It's all.
Hey, man. Oh, Jared.
Yeah, look at that flat line. If I wanted to see a flat line, I would like go on a date.
Flat line? You kidding me?
It's straight across. Those are your shoulder blades. Yeah. All right. Good luck. All right. If you need to Skype me in during, listen. Honestly, if you need to Skype me in during the photo shoot, I'll help you out. Just call me on the phone. I'll literally walk you through how to do it.
You're the man, and we will be doing a fro painting of you sometime this year.
I can't wait to see the fro painting. I'll be like, all right, man. So good luck tonight. All right.
All right. Thank you.
And that is it. So. Yeah, I figured it would be fun to put up an emergency phone call from a guy who just picked up his camera, needing some quick tips. Adam understands light because he's a painter, so that definitely helps. Angles, composition. I mean, he knew what this was as soon as I picked it up. You know, so that's about it, guys. Good luck, Adam, and everybody out there. Hope this helps out.
Take care,
I can't
everybody.
believe you have tattoos on your hand. Jared Poland, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.